Okay, we'll start our Tuesday, December 3rd, City Council regular meeting. First of all, I need approval of the agenda.
So moved?
Seconded? All in favor?
Yes.
Next item is the consent agenda for the minutes of...
I have some corrections.
Okay, why don't you do that first?
On the second group of November 19th, and it's page 5 of 7. And we go down to about the 4th line from the first paragraph. And if we meet all the requirements in the drainage process, we can have an outfall. If we do not agree their requirements, we have to cut off the outfall at the vegetation line. OPRD's time frame is March 15th. State Park said it was a hard deadline as long as, and I think that was intended to be not a hard deadline as long as we are making significant progress. So just adding not.
I thought from the discussion, maybe Bruce, that it was a hard deadline.
There
Could
is
not enforce it if we were making progress. It's a little different.
The deadline is March 15th, but to get it done, I think they are willing to give us quite a bit of time.
And I understand what Robin's saying, because the conversation we had was the permitting portion was March 15th.
Yes.
And so that even that doesn't come out quite as clear in this,
Right.
but that is what they're talking about. So I think that what you said makes sense,
Okay.
or goes along with it at least.
And then, I guess that's it for
Okay.
That's an easy bit.
Anybody else have concerns? Then I need a motion for the minutes as proposed.
I'll move that we accept the minutes of the November 12th work session and November 19th for the management plan deliberation work session with the correction noted by Councilor Grizzly.
Second? Go ahead, Robin.
Okay. So we have a motion. All in favor?
Yes.
Yes. Very good. Now we'll proceed to our public comment phase. If there's anybody out there who would like to speak, you're welcome to.
Happy after Thanksgiving. I just wanted to come to say that since living here, I've been involved with talking to so many people about what we refer to as the school property. And I just wanted to say I'm so pleased, and for the other people that I continue to talk to, the feeling that going forward on this is so important, that I think it's important to show up at times and let people know when we're exceedingly happy about something that's beginning to emerge. So that's why I'm here, this is your Christmas present from me, to say that I'm so happy to move forward and to see that the way we refer to that property is at some point in the future dropped from being the school property to being the gathering place, not just for our visitors and our tourists, but for the residents, and we honor the history which is happening of that place and what it means. As somebody we know says, it's where the forest meets the sea, and it's where for over 3 centuries we know of, it's been a gathering place. So I look at it as a multi-use place for community, tourist, visitor, and the sense of the history that we have in this community that I think is unique, obviously, and very special. So thanks for all your individual work on going forward, and know that there's a large community sense of being there to also be participatory in going forward with making sure that it represents all that we want it to represent. So thank you. I'm going to go home and decorate my Christmas tree.
Thanks, Lolly. Anybody else?
Hi, Tim Keller. I live in Post Office Box 571. First of all, what Lolly said, that was good, liked it. I want to fire the first round in something that's kind of mundane considering all the other problems we have, but first round in a request that the city consider a pickleball court. It's the fastest growing sport in the country. It's particularly rapidly growing, people my age. I call it old people's tennis. But I'll have more information for the council as time goes on, and I think it'll be a good thing for the community. Thanks.
Thank you, Tim.
I noticed that Gearhart just made the front cover of the Astorian for having one.
And Carmen Swigert is very
Yes.
interested in having a pickleball court here.
Yes, she did.
Anybody else wish to speak?
Hi, everybody.
Hi, Dick.
I think pickleball is far too fast for me. I also feel drawn towards the mic to thank the council for moving forward to make sure that the village site, which has been a gathering place for time immemorial, is going to continue to be just that, a gathering place. And I speak on behalf of the tribal council, and we really look forward to working with you however we can to move forward with that. So thank you very much for securing it for everybody. And I'm Dick Bash. 1126 Avenue F, Seaside.
Thanks, Dick.
Thank you.
Thanks, David. You know, been several references tonight, and I've heard it other places referring to that as the gathering place. I think it'd be a great way to begin to refer to it instead of the old school or the elementary school or the Quonset hut or all these. But I really personally like the sound and thought and the history of the gathering place. And I'd like for us to consider that, adding it to our vocabulary as we describe and discuss the gathering place.
I like that.
Okay. Again, last chance. Okay, I'm closing the public comment, and our only action item for tonight is the NACUS marker proposal. Bruce, you want to bring us up to speed?
Yes, sir. Thank you, Mr. Mayor. On November 12th, we had a workshop, and I did a presentation because there was nobody else here to do it, but we had previous discussions with the Clatsop-Nehalem Confederated Tribes and the Oregon chapter of the Lewis and Clark Trail Heritage Foundation, and they have a proposal to place 2 basalt boulders with plaques at the NACUS Park, and then interpretive plaque or Yeah, and essentially interpret a panel, Les Shirley, honoring the bravery of an unnamed woman who saved a life for the Lewis Clark expedition. There was a request for the city to participate. That participation includes granting permission for the boulders to be installed on property already owned by the city. In addition, there was a budget, I believe it was like $15,000. They were asking for a contribution, cash contribution from the city of $2,500. There was also an in-kind service of approximately 40 hours dealing with the installation of the boulders. Yes.
50. It was 50 hours.
Okay, good. All right, thanks. Yeah, I don't know if anybody's worked out the details on it, but that was the in-kind contribution. So there would be a lot of work with that, but also I think it was the National Park said that they could help us with equipment to be able to move and install the boulders, and that they could relocate them if it was ever needed. So with that, because there's going to be different agreements and arrangements being made from an operational standpoint, my recommendation for a motion is to move to authorize the city manager to move forward with completing this project. With that, we would do a letter, probably for the mayor's signature, to the appropriate parties, because they asked for that assistance to be able to apply for grants. Did I miss anything?
We did ask for verbiage on those two, right, Nancy?
On the Les Shirley
Yes.
portion.
And we haven't received it. Is there a way that maybe we could get it by Thursday, and then we could review it and hopefully approve it at our work session on the 10th?
Has to be a vote.
But if we approve this now with,
I'm just saying it has to be a vote.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We would-
oh, it
You could
does.
change the work session to a special meeting, I guess, but
No, I think the only thing she's talking about is being able to review the language, which to
Right.
me is, you're not voting to approve the language, you're voting to approve the project, and we could bring
Now.
back the language.
Yeah.
If they have it ready in that time frame, we'll bring it to you, but I don't know if they're that close to finalizing it. But we definitely want to take a look at it before that part's complete. Dick, do you have any idea? Yes.
I have a comment.
Okay.
The tribe proposed to Lewis and Clark people, wanted to find out if they would partner with the tribe in doing it. And in turn, they had some funds that were available, as well as some grant funds on top of that. And so we have all entered into it, approving the concept, and in the presentation, it was clear that the language would be approved by all parties before it was installed or before it was sent to the print shop or whoever. That panel, the words verbiage can't get done by Thursday. And so that can't be done.
Okay.
So the tribe is moving forward with the understanding that we'll work on that, and I guess with Doug being on board, and the tribe has somebody that does that professionally as well, all of us coming together. I think we'll develop something that will be happy for everybody.
Yeah, I think we can approve the concept and the project and move it ahead with the caveat that we all of us want to be able to look at the language before it goes on to the panels, so.
We can include that in the letter from the mayor.
Okay,
Is that, okay.
any other concerns? And I'll ask for a motion.
I move that, what is it I move? I move to authorize the city manager to move forward with completing this project.
Second it.
Second it? Motion to move forward. Colleen, you want to call the roll?
Council President Benefield,
Yes.
Councilor Risley,
Yes.
Yes.
Counselor McCarthy?
Yes.
Mayor Stidle?
Yes. Motion passes. Move forward, Bruce.
Thank you.
And that concludes our agenda, so anything for monthly status report? Or communications, counselors, and/or go to the order?
I also concluded with the order.
Robin?
As an elected official, I've been approached by concerned citizens at Coffee with the Counselor, Nancy also, by phone and on the street about the Harding structure recently built on the Nicholson PUD easement. At the last Planning Commission meeting, this topic was discussed in great detail, and this building did not go through the proper process for approval. I feel it is my obligation to request that this be done first to the Planning Commission and then to the City Council. I'm submitting this letter as a backup for my request, and this was written by people who are friends in Cannon Beach. I'll give this to Colleen or pass it around.
Does anyone else need to read it?
I would like to have
I
people
can make
read it.
copies of it and then give it to her.
Sure.
Well, I don't know if that's a motion, but if it isn't, I'd second it.
Thank you.
There's a great deal of concern about the process on how that studio apartment, ADU, garage, whatever it is, got built in a site that was only approved for a planned urban development, planned unit development. None of us that were involved at the, well, I shouldn't say none of us, I was involved at the time that was approved, and to this date, nothing that was agreed to by the applicant has been completed or performed, and the applicant no longer owns any of the property and has made arrangements with others outside of the process that we have established for approving the building. So again, I think this letter can be the basis to begin. I think it's going to take an investigation. We need to determine what action should follow. And I don't know how involved Sam's been, but he was involved in the original approval.
Yeah, I'd like it to go through the process. I don't know what it takes to do that. I know everybody needs to have time to look at this. But I think it's a very good argument for going back to the process.
Mr. Mayor, if I can, because there was one comment made by Councilor Benefield saying that this letter could be the basis for it. We are in process of taking a look at what happened and what we can do and what's actually there, those kinds of things. But we have got a format that we need to follow, and it may or may not be the same as what's in this letter, but we are following up on it as a result of some of the conversations that occurred at both locations you talked about. But the process is what it is, and so it may not be exactly as what was referenced here.
Okay.
As long as this, again, I haven't read this, but I have a general understanding of what's in it. As long as those issues are taken into consideration in going through the process and reconstructing the events, I guess we have to do it the right way this time.
Yes. Yeah.
The only thing that I can think of just from hearing this, this project and investigating it is a staff thing until it goes to a decision-making problem, and that goes to the Planning Commission, and that would come to us, something along that line. In a general sense, the process of how that happened, we have already kind of changed. So, and I'd need Jeff to help us walk through how we changed that again, because that was done a while ago. right after this happened, we realized that HOA type of project cannot move forward the way that happened. So we can investigate that again when we start looking at the future of the comp plan, because that's in there.
And this is going to be complicated and will require a lot of changes to our code.
Yeah.
Because the things that are being referenced are not defined in our code. The garage is not defined, accessory dwelling unit, those kinds of things.
Well, that is page 2, and it does have a definition of what those are. And I'm not recommending that we just accept what you're saying about, well, we've changed things. This, I think, needs us to go back to the process of going to the planning commission with what's happened and undo it if it isn't correct.
That's why there are 2 different topics.
Okay.
One is this one specifically, the Nicholson property.
Yeah.
The other one is making sure that this can't happen again at
Right.
some other piece of property.
Yeah.
We've kind of covered this, not really well yet.
Okay.
This one we need to address.
Thank
And
you.
from what Bruce has said, I think we are in the beginning stages of addressing it. Okay?
Yeah, that helps. Thank you.
Thanks.
Thanks, Robin.
Yeah. Okay. Anybody else have anything else for good of the order? Barb, what are you doing?
Could I remind the city manager that you're going to talk to them about 12 days birthday schedule, the dates? You mentioned it would be the first meeting.
Yes, I was thinking that it would be at the workshop, but can you remind me of the dates?
April 13th to the 24th.
Yeah. Yes, I want to talk to you about the April 13th to 24th. And those are the days that are been selected for the likely celebration of the 12 days of Earth Day. And at this point, because there are still things that need to be done, applications, those kind of things, what I'm asking is a tentative approval from the council to set those dates aside so that the Parks Committee can know that they have a time frame within which to work. But then there's other things that are going to happen within that time frame. So if those dates are okay, I don't know if you need to make an official motion right now. Do you need to make an official motion? Okay, I think it's be good if you made an official motion right now, just to go ahead and say that those dates are acceptable for the 12 days of Earth Day.
So it's April what?
13th to the 24th.
But, yeah, I'm speaking in.
Can you guys trade spots?
Yes, yeah, always a chair with Barb, yes.
April 13th to the 24th. So Easter's right before that.
Before that, yeah. That's one reason we started.
I have, no concerns. I think that's fine.
Okay, and when I'm talking about additional things that are coming up, the last time we did it, it was done on a one-time basis. There were reports that were going to be provided. We held off on doing the reports while the special events is coming up. And so there will be other things that are coming to you, possibly an ordinance change to make this more permanent, those kind of things, all of which will happen in the meantime. But we didn't want to wait to set the dates until after all that.
Okay.
So did somebody make a motion? I'm sorry.
Oh, you can't make a motion in the order.
Okay.
Sorry.
But we can make kind of a unanimous consent.
Yes.
You can have consensus.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you can't make a motion in good of the order.
We need you.
Yes, I agree.
So again, I can't see any reason why we've never really solidified the date with a motion until. So I think that's a great time period, and let's move forward.
Thank you.
I agree.
And we'll bring you something official later.
Okay.
You agree, Nancy?
Oh, it's fine with me.
Well, if Nancy says okay, I'll vote for it.
Absolutely.
Anything else for anybody? Okay, we are adjourned. Thank you.